models are. They're just like cars. Yeah. You buy the new car, you drive it till the lease runs out, take it back in, get another one. And then you'll get on eBay. If you want to buy something else, you can buy eBay, you know. So, but the reason a person would not keep using their clubs is very simple. They don't like them, so they're trying to find something better. I try to find something better, but I can't. You know, I'm always looking if you want to know what Bob Ackerman's thinking about, it's always the same question. It's always the same answer. He's trying to take a stroke off his game. You know, if you're looking for Bob Ackerman, it's always the same answer. He's on the range hitting balls. You know, so I'm easy to figure out. So I talked about the approach irons. How I never, hardly ever hit a full approach iron. I always choke down an inch, and I hit a 3/4 shot. Because I'm trying to control my distance exactly. You know, I don't care if I get on a par 3 and a guy hits a 9-iron on the green and I hit a 4-iron. I don't care. As long as I hit it pin high. So, then I talked about how hitting, being able to control your distances with your wedge, because the closer you get in, you know, that's 75 yards. This is one of I got two favorite pieces of technology, this thing and my square card reader in there. I mean, that thing will suck money out of people's pockets just like that. I mean, it's incredible.
It's free.
But my cell phone, it's just annoying. You know, that cell phone. I pick it up, it says Life Companion on it. I'm thinking, I didn't marry you. You know, it's like, and then it's making noises all the time, and I'm like, all right. There it is. This is the money club right here. My 54-degree stand is 75-yard shot, so that's right between a 3/4 and a half sandwich for me. So I'm going to make a little bit more than a half swing, and I'm going to finesse it. See that go about 75 yards? See? And so these are the ultimate distance control clubs. And so I control the distance with half, 3/4, and full swings. With my 54, I can hit it with a full swing 90 without forcing it. With a 3/4 swing, it's 80. With a half swing, it's 75. With my pitching wedge, full swing without forcing, it's 120. A 3/4 swing is 110. Half swing's 100. So I go from 70 to 120 with 2 clubs and 3 swings. And I practice a lot with those clubs because that's how I make birdies. You know, if I'm going to shoot, if you're trying to go from 77 to 72, you got to make 5 birdies to offset your 5 bogeys. If you want to go from 72 to 67, you still got to make your 5 birdies with no bogeys. All right, and you do that with your wedges on the par 5s and on the short par 4s. And if you happen to hit a bad shot into the trees, you punch out to 70 and hit your wedge up there like that and tap it in for a par. Tiger's the best at that. Why? Because he's the smartest golfer. Everybody else is trying to hit it 300 yards. Because that's what the manufacturers and the radar launch monitors are trying to get you to do. You know, it's called a technology trap. You feel like you're at a technological disadvantage unless you get on a launch monitor with all these expensive shafts, okay, and heads. And so you get the numbers, okay. Well, all of a sudden you're swinging harder and faster to make those numbers change. Okay. So then you get on the first tee at the Northern Ohio Open, and you go like this. You're already nervous. Then you go, because that's what you've been practicing on a launch monitor. When God, all you wanted to do was just hit it down the fairway about 240, you know.
And then embarrass yourself.
Yeah, because that's what normal golfers do. I mean, that's why I call TrackMan Trickman, because it's a trick. You know, okay, let's hit 2 degrees up on my driver. Well, what about the other, 180 degrees from here to here? Tell me about that, Trickman. This is Ackerman versus TrackerMan. You know, and the list goes on. The launch runners can't read the greens. They can't judge the wind. They can't evaluate the lie of the ball, whether it's in long grass or off a barrel lie or off a fairway lie. You can't evaluate if it's downhill or uphill or the ball's above your feet or below your feet. You can't tell you if you're nervous or not. So it's like it so distances you from real golf. Now, if you put that information in a top teacher's hands with a really talented player, they may be able to get a little bit out of it. But the best players in the world are no different than you and me. They're vulnerable because they just missed the cut by a stroke. You know, if only I could have hit it, you know, in the fairway on the last hole. Let's get on the launch monitor. Maybe that'll do it. You know. I was online with this Golf WRX, and the guy said, "Well, Justin Rose, you know, improved his driving. He used to be known as a really good iron player, but he was struggling off the tee. And then since he's been working on TrackMan, now he's hitting the ball better off the tee." Well, if somebody came to me and took a lesson and said, "I'm hitting my irons good, I can't hit my driver," red flag, right up. Driver doesn't match up to the irons. The driver is easier to hit than an iron. Why? Because you get to tee it up on a relatively flat lie with a big face. Driver should be the easiest club in the bag to hit. If you're working hard with your driver, you know, and have a functional swing like Justin Rose, I mean, he's incredibly talented. I played with he and Zach Johnson a practice round at the Buick Open one year. We were on the 17th hole, and I came up short in the sand on this par 3. My ball buried in there. He says, "I'll bet you a beer you can't get that up and down." And I hit it up there like that. So I won a beer from Justin Rose. But Justin Rose looks like a skinny kid on TV. He's not. That guy is buffed. When you're standing next to him, he's like, you know, he's impressive. You know, Nicklaus looks big on TV, but he's a little runt. So is Palmer and Gary Player, but they TV gives you a different impression of them. So I would have said, geez, you know, Justin, you're probably playing the TrackMan numbers with that driver. Because the TrackMan said this was for you, now you're trying to make it work on a course you can't hit the fairway. Use your instincts and your intuition, you know, and watch the ball, and you can feel, you can see, you know. So I would say that's just an ill-fitted, he was just trying to make the numbers. He's trying to get that one more yard.
So Bob, the slice or hook is really controlled by either swing in to out or out to in on the ball.
Well, you can swing in to, if I swing in to out and keep the face open, I'm going to hit a push, because I'm coming the pass this way, but the face is open. See? So most slicers have to strengthen their grip and close the face initially, and that'll make the ball go to the left. And once the ball starts going to the left, it's infinitely easier to swing out to the right, because golf's 100% mental. The reason people slice is because they're afraid of going right, so they swing left. So once you close the face and strengthen the grip, and the ball's going this way, and now you're standing over the ball, you no longer have that fear of going to the right. So you can swing to the right. So here's a good illustration of the So you have to control both the face and the path. And your grip, the grip is should control the face. Most people have a bad grip.
Doing it tighter, Joe?
What's that?
When you hold it, you know, put more force on your grip, what does that do? If you're doing that at address, it's not good form, because most likely you might let go coming through. So you want to start with a light grip, but when you hit the ball, you want it tight to offset the hit of the ball. And then tighten up.
It's just like a fork. If I got a fork in my hand and I'm looking at a piece of food, I'm holding that fork light, but when I go to hit the food, it tightens up just enough so that the pressure offsets the fork going into the meat. Or I'm a vet, no I'm not. Yeah. So that's a good way of looking at how you hold the club. You hold it lightly,
when you swing it back, it'll naturally tighten, and when you come down, it'll tighten up even more, and when you hit the ball, it'll be like a vice. It has to be to offset the hit. If the ball's on the ground, you're hitting the ball and the ground. So it's gotta be, you can't be wobbly and loose when you hit the ball, which is a lot of grip problems. You can trace almost every swing error to the grip. But here's a good illustration. This is straight, that's in to out. See that? This is out to in. This is a good example of down. See this? That's all downward. That's all going down. It's also going out. See? You know, if I dip my club head down here, yeah, then it would be going up, but still the majority is down. That's why that information is false science. So most people are out to in with an open face to hit the weak slice. So we're running out of time, so I always like to finish these things off with watching everybody swing and trying to help them with what their problems are, because usually it turns out that, you know, what I talked about is helpful, but you really got to treat each golfer as an individual, because they're at different levels of accomplishment and have different swing problems and ball flight problems. So, you know, grab some balls and I'll go up and down the line, and we'll fix your slice. I fix slices in less than 5 minutes. I do it all the time.